What's going on, everyone? So yesterday, the Lakers lost a hard-fought game to the Memphis Grizzlies, a game that really felt like it could be won. They ended up committing 26 turnovers that led to 39 points off of turnovers, which is never good. You're never going to win a game committing that many turnovers, and it was just an absolute mess in that regard. They also, in the third quarter, just could not stop Ja Morant. He scored 28 points in the third quarter, a franchise record. On a bright side, it took literally a franchise record to beat us, just like in the Portland game. It took a franchise record of three-pointers to beat us. So I guess that's one bright side, one bright way to look at it. But regardless, you're not going to win games committing that many turnovers and just being that careless with the basketball. And Ja Morant is Ja Morant for a reason. But regardless, hey, got to brush it off, got to bounce back, right? We have another huge game today against the Thunder. They're coming off a back-to-back. They're coming off of losses. We got to keep maintaining. Luckily for the Lakers, everyone else pretty much lost, right? I mean, the Clippers lost. The Mavericks are still losing. Jazz lost, the Pelicans lost. The Timberwolves did win, which was interesting. I would have rather had the Clippers win just because of standing purposes. But hey, now we are only 3 games out of 6th place. We are 2.5 games out of 7th and only 2 games out of 8th. And we play the Timberwolves coming up this Friday, which will be interesting in and of itself. And very likely the game, D'Lo returns. Now, at the time of recording this video, D'Lo is still doubtful. Maybe he comes back. That would be kind of nice. I would imagine that they're going to test him, test his ankle, stuff like that to see how he goes. And if he can go for it, then I think he'll go for it. Luckily, yes, we are without LeBron James against the Thunder, but they are without SGA. They had a hard-fought game against the Sacramento Kings. So we're both coming off of back-to-backs. We're both without our best player. And so it's just going to come down to a game of depth. Now, if D'Lo doesn't play, of course that's going to hurt because D'Lo provides more structure, especially in that starting point guard position, starting guard position, and also his ability to just create and score himself, shooting from 3, shooting mid-range off the dribble, and just being that playmaker. I really honestly think that we would have won that game against the Grizzlies if we had D'Lo. Like, even if he didn't really score much, right? Like, let's say he gave us like 10 points, something like that. I think the ball being in his hands primarily, yes, he probably would have had some turnovers, but I think the offense would have ran more smoothly. I think a lot of just the mishaps and decisions that were made at times, I don't think would have happened. And plus his just ability to help close out, when the game was tight, when we got it to like 4, there were several opportunities that felt like the Lakers really could have just made a push and they didn't. That was really disappointing. But hey, like I said, got to brush it off. The Memphis Grizzlies game was always going to be a tougher game for us to win without LeBron James, without D'Angelo Russell. Obviously, you're playing Memphis Grizzlies team that is, they're a solid team. I'm not really fully bought into them personally. And I mean, even after last night's game, I don't really buy into them that much. I don't think that they are as good as they believe they are. It's something I've, reiterated in the past. But regardless, it's a tough team and at home. Memphis is really good at home. They've only lost like 5 games, I believe. I think they're like 26-5 at home, something insane like that. So they are one of, if not the best teams at home, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. So that's always going to be a hard-fought battle. The game kind of got away from us at the end, but for the most part, it was a really close, hard-fought game, even with all of the turnovers, right? If we can cut down on the turnovers against the Thunder, I do believe we have a better opportunity, right? I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies are a better defensive team than the Thunder are, but regardless, it was just a lot of carelessness, right? A lot of just careless passes, not taking care of the ball, silly turnovers. Schroeder, Lonnie Walker had some just rough ones. You had just from everybody. It was just a poor effort all around as far as taking care of the basketball. But games like that happen. You brush it off. And we got to go to the most important game, which is the Thunder. I've said this before. the most important games are the ones of the teams that are ahead of us. And yes, the Memphis Grizzlies are ahead of us, but not in the sense of like we can catch them and we're trying to pass them. I mean, we could win every game the rest of the way and we still wouldn't have caught the Memphis Grizzlies. We could have won even that Memphis Grizzly game and we probably wouldn't have caught the Memphis Grizzlies. They're just too far ahead. So it's these games, the Thunder, the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Suns, all of these teams that are in that that we're only like 3.5 games behind. All of those games we absolutely have to win. And we have a lot of those games coming up, and it starts with the Thunder tonight. Not having SGA, I think, will be a huge benefit. I think that will help us a lot. I think that we have more just solid depth currently, and then the star with Anthony Davis than the Thunder. Now, I think the Thunder have an incredibly bright future. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Thunder, but I just think our guys are more like now capable, ready with this team, with Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis will definitely be that difference in this game. Well, to be fair, hopefully he plays, right? That's a real concern. He hasn't played back-to-back since like November or something like that, they were saying, which is crazy to think about. But still, he's going to have to. We're going to need him. Hopefully, we can cut his minutes short, right? Hopefully, the Lakers come out with some fire, with some a better start, and they can kind of just really go out on a run. We didn't have the greatest game as a whole. So hopefully if we can, like I said, sew up the turnovers, hit more shots, be more effective offensively, and really kind of go out on a run and take advantage of this Thunder team, then I really do believe that we may be able to keep Anthony Davis around the, hopefully 25 to 30 minute mark at the most. We can get Anthony Davis to 30 minutes. That would be just fantastic. But he's going to really have to establish himself. All of these guys are really going to have to establish himself. Vanderbilt, I imagine they put Vanderbilt. I wouldn't even mind putting Vanderbilt on Giddey, kind of just because he's kind of their engine, right? He's the guy that is Mr. nearly triple-double every night. Kind of, if you can, kind of lock him down and make things difficult for him. I could see that. Or I could see at some point he kind of switches on to him. That could be something else that we see. But regardless, this is a winnable game with or without D'Lo, and we need to take advantage of that and get this done. It's not going to be an easy game, in my opinion, but this team has shown the ability to win the games that they should, right? Like the Warriors without Steph, we beat them twice. The Pelicans without Zion, we beat them, right? All of these games that we have won, a lot of these games have been games that we should have won, and we did. And we won in very demanding fashion. And I'm not necessarily saying that we will win this game in demanding fashion. It would be nice, but as long as we get the win, that's all I care about. Whether we win by 1 or we win by 100, right? Just go in, get the win. It's going to start with Anthony Davis. Going to need to continue to have Anthony Davis be the monster that he was last night. He had nearly a 30-20 game last night, which was incredible. 5 blocks, really controlled a lot of the game defensively until Ja Morant just absolutely went off. I also know a lot of people were really upset with Mo Bamba and him not getting play, but those were terrible matchups. Imagine Mo Bamba trying to guard, Triple J. He would have gotten eaten alive. It's just there's some matchups that Mo Bamba is perfect with. There's other ones where it's just unfortunately just not going to work out, right? Mo Bamba isn't a great individual defender. He's not great when you put him on an island. He's a great shot blocker. He's a great and has good length, and he's a guy that can absolutely be a solid help defender, but he's still very raw. He's still very young. He still, gets lost at times. That guy would have fouled out so quickly in the third. He would have been out of the game by the midway through the third quarter, the way Ja was just attacking and as aggressive as he was, and the way that the refs were calling things, something else to keep in mind. But I do think Anthony Davis, we need to, get him established early, have a strong performance early on. If he has a strong performance early on, I really do believe that he can kind of help kind of lead this charge and put a W in the column, right? And that's what this is all about. We're gonna ride Anthony Davis, right? We're gonna need him to be as good as possible. When D'Lo comes back, I do think it'll make things so much easier, right? Because there is the concern of Anthony Davis. You know, you don't want him to get injured, especially without LeBron James. Anthony Davis gets injured. That's the last thing we need. But he's all we got right now from a star standpoint. D'Lo's out. LeBron's out for the foreseeable future. D'Lo will hopefully be back for the Minnesota game. If he's back for the Minnesota game, I think that we win that game, especially the Minnesota game, right? Because D'Angelo Russell, he's going to want to ball out. He's going to want to show up. He's going to want to, show his former team. So I'm really looking forward to that game. But it starts here. Starts tonight. We got to go get this W. Anthony Davis has to play. He has to play monstrous. He has to be that just the paint stopper, the establisher on the defensive side. Get going early, and then hopefully we can kind of pull away, maybe late third quarter, early fourth quarter, and get Anthony Davis some rest. That's my hope. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Think we go in, get this W? Think we don't? What did you think of the Memphis game? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below.